Pleased to be joined by the ninth head coach in Bakersfield Condors team history, Colin Chaulk, named earlier today. The head coach of the Condors took over last season, led the Condors to the second round of the Calder Cup playoffs. And first off, Colin, how does that sound? Ninth head coach in Condors team history must be a pretty exciting day for yourself and for your family.
Absolutely. Pro coaches, we all know how hard it is to get these positions. How hard you work, the sacrifices you make personally, your family makes, your kids, your wife, all those sorts of things. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity, but at the same time, I believe that I made the most of my opportunity with the help of staff, with the help of people like yourself in the front office, with the help of the players and all those sorts of things in my half season there as the interim head coach. And I'm really excited and thankful to get started.
You started last year as an assistant coach and then kind of thrown in the fire. Obviously, the end goal you want to, I think, for any coach, you want to become a head coach. And no matter how that opportunity comes, you were thrown in the fire kind of over the last 4 months, 13-5-1 down the stretch, led the team to the second round of the Calder Cup postseason. How much confidence did those 4 months give you as kind of a trial run and honestly a resume right here in Bakersfield to be able to step right in this season and hit the ground running?
Well, I believe, first of all, earning the opportunity to be an assistant coach with the current staff that was already in place when JF moved on, for his opportunity in Laval. Came in, wanted to learn from all the different coaches that Dave and Sly and Noah and Jay, with his resume, 1,000+ games in the NHL. I wanted to take that year and learn. And I feel like, we were definitely as a staff in stride. Was it 17 games or something, unbeaten? I could be off by a couple here, Holty, but we had our groove. Felt like we were really working well together. I learned. I think they learned from me. We was a great collaboration. So I believe that experience, and then also being a head coach before in the ECHL, and we've talked about it, right? Doing travel, doing contracts, having to manage different personalities, guys going up to the American League, coming down to the SPHL, all those different experiences, having to run power play, penalty kill. I believe the ECHL as a head coach and an assistant, the American League and assistant, made me over ready for the opportunity when it came. Was it expected when it happened? Absolutely not. But I felt like we were kind of win one, lose one there for a little bit. But you mentioned that stretch drive there at the end. That was just the time that everybody found their groove, like we had before the coaching promotions took place. So again, just thankful for everybody's belief and work that was put in, and we had some pretty good results.
What did you learn maybe about yourself? Being an assistant coach is a different role than being a head coach, and especially in a type of situation that you're kind of thrust into last year. What did you maybe learn about yourself in those 4 months that you can take with you and kind of know that you have that in your back pocket and realize that you passed the test last year?
I think being an assistant, first of all, right, you're in an area where you're listening. Okay, you're complimenting, excuse me, and you're a solution finder. Okay, you need to make solutions, not make problems for the staff, the coach, the players, all that. So you need to find solutions. At the same time, you need to give your opinion when asked, and it needs to be valued and needs to be a good one. So I think from that position, moving in or back into the head coaching role, where those other guys feel because you sat in their chair before, right? So I think I could draw on those experience. The other part is that people have a hard time with the unknown, right? They want to know where they stand, whether it's a trainer. They want to know the schedule. They want to know what's next. They want to know how their game is. They want to know what you think of them. And I believe in that head coaching or in that management position where you're somewhat in charge and you're at the top. You need to make sure you're communicating to a large staff, whether it be the strength and conditioning, whether it be the coaches, the goalie department, video, all those sorts of things. You need to make sure it's clear, it's concise, and they feel good about it when they leave the conversation with you. So I felt like in the beginning, we spent a ton of time just over communicating, making sure the message was clear, tweaking some things that we had done before with the old staff, which was excellent, but you have to put your own spin in it. You're your own man, you're your own person. And then trying to move forward with it. And there were some bumps, right? And we had to get through those bumps, which made us grow. But then it's the follow-up, right? Making sure that the communication was clear through, a new coach coming in with John, and working with Chad and in the medical department, working with Trav and Ganzi in the strength and conditioning, understanding what the players needed. So all those things to juggle and make sure that practice planning and game review and all those sorts of things were tight. And then most importantly, communicating with the leadership group, communicating with the players, making sure you had some non-negotiables as the new head coach, but then also meeting them halfway. And I think, Brad Malone, Adam Cracknell, Esposito, Griff, Stuart Skinner, all those guys did a really, really fantastic job, allowing that process to unfold quickly. We had to expedite it. It wasn't like it couldn't be snail mail. So I think that was a great learning experience. And then also the younger tweeners like Vincent Darnay, understanding that he's next role. So that communication with all areas, I felt was took a lot of time. And I feel like in the beginning, I used that time to build those relationships differently from an assistant coach into a head coach. And I felt like that set us up for the stretch run, but it was a big job. And it was something that I'll make sure that I do here from this day, moving into training camp and the start of our season.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned the off season and moving into, the planning for next year, and things are different now. You're the head coach, you're preparing to be the head coach, and you are the head coach going into this upcoming season. When you kind of look at, I don't want to use the word easier, but it's a little different. You have more time, I guess, to be able to put your stamp on things. What types of things this offseason are you looking to maybe develop or get yourself prepared and get this team prepared for what's to come September and come October, so that you can hit the ground running? And as you mentioned, not have to really expedite things now going into this season.
Yeah, I think Holty, the main focus is trying to be efficient, right? Like, and you can say easy or whatever, but we're try to be efficient and make sure that things that are going to make an impact on the players' development, wins and losses, and that's what you have to do in the American Hockey League level. And in my opinion, you got to develop and you got to win. And it was no different than, what Jay and Dave and Sly and Noah had developed already, is that we believe that can go hand in hand. Okay. I think they've proven that. So that needs to continue. How are we going to do that? We're going to talk about how hard it's going to be. Right. And you've heard us say that a lot. You've heard Jay say it. You've heard myself say it. Understand how hard it's going to be, but also work and continue to refine our hard skills. Okay. And I'm not talking about like the stick handling and the skating, like our hard skills, getting to those hard areas and understanding how hard it is. And I know everybody in the hockey world watched the Stanley Cup finals here to see how hard it was for what Tampa did, and how banged up and how injured and all the trying it took for Colorado to get there. So I think we talk about those things right away. That gets us in a battle mentality. So, I believe that, yes, it's a continuation, but it's going to be more of a crock pot, Holty, okay, more of a slow burn, because we have some time here to interject those messages and not be, like you mentioned and I did earlier, like it's an expediting process and we got to FedEx the package there. It needs to be there tomorrow. So I'm excited for that.
And one of the things too is building out a staff. You're the head coach, and you'll have to build out a staff, and obviously that'll be a process throughout the course of the summer with yourself and with the Edmonton Oilers, management staff. But what types of of characteristics or things are you looking for when you do want to work with someone, and when you do want to work with a staff member and an assistant coach, and try to build that out over the course of the next couple of months?
Well, yes, we'll have some people to hire. Obviously, Keith Gretzky, myself, and Oilers management will be heavily involved in that, making sure that it's going to sound like a cliche, but you find the right person, but it's also the right fit for the staff that we have in place, for Keith, the general manager, and myself that has to work with them day to day. They'll have to go through a process and to figure out, who that is. Would we like to have someone with the experience and someone with forward experience? Yes. But we're excited to go through that process, and it's underway now.
And just lastly, your family side of things, your wife and two daughters must be ecstatic for yourself, and maybe, how much of a role they've played, throughout your career, because it's a long playing career. It's a coaching career that's starting to climb the ladder, and maybe just touch on those three and what they've meant to you and to your development here. Because it's not just one person. When you talk about getting a job, it's an entire thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because when there's a media or even friends, they say, "Oh, that's a great opportunity. Good for you, Colin." And what's interesting is I don't view it that way. I view the sacrifices that how many times my wife has quit her job, how many times she's waited for me to be on a phone call or talk to a player or management, or a time like this, that all the sacrifices that they've made, all the times my kids have changed schools, moved. I think the positive thing is that they're adaptable. They can be productive in almost any environment. It's also all they know. We're a hockey family, and they're as proud and excited as I am, almost more. But it's different. They think of the experience that they went through to see where Dad, the coach, is at. So I think it's a big moment for myself personally, for my career, as you mentioned, Holty, as you start to climb the ladder. But at the same time, you got to be present where you are, be thankful for where you are. And it's not how fast you get there; it's how long you stay. And it's no different than things we talk about with our kids, and the conversation and morning coffee with Mrs. Chaulk in the off season.
You mentioned kind of enjoying the journey. Well, that journey takes you to Bakersfield again. What can the fan base, what can Bakersfield, what does a Colin Chaulk team look like on opening night? With your full stamp. We've seen a taste of it. What does a Colin Chaulk coach team look like moving into year two, basically?
Well, first of all, it's a collaboration with the staff, with the players. Understanding that we need everybody every night, and that everybody's important. And it's not Colin Chaulk putting this team together. We need help from Keith. We need help from management. All those sorts of things. So all those things get in place over the next few months here. The type of team that we want to deliver is a hard team, a fast team, and a smart team, meaning mixing blue collar and white collar. And we talked a lot about that at the end of the year with our players. And we believe that we can mix that, and that's a real good recipe. And what does that mean by hard? It means by winning puck battles. It means finishing first on maybe a forecheck or a loose puck. What does fast mean? Fast means moving the puck quickly. I don't mean skating quickly. I mean, we love how Dylan Holloway skates, and if he's in Bakersfield, it's great. But we're talking about understanding the next play and have that forward mindset. So that's what you're going to see. Is it going to happen on game one? We'd like that to happen. We believe it's going to happen, but there's going to be ups and downs in every season. And we believe that the base and the foundation that's already built in Bakersfield, the expectations from the players, coaches, and management, we believe we'll be able to continue that. So, we're excited to have what we had at the end of the season. How loyal the fans were when we saw them come back and how loud the building was. Really excited to see that on day one.
We're excited to see you back in Bakersfield. Congratulations again, Colin Chaulk, ninth head coach in team history. Colin, we'll be catching up throughout the course of the summer and look forward to opening night coming up in October. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Holty, so much. Appreciate everything that you did when I was named interim head coach. I'm thankful and really excited to work with you every day as well.
Thank you. Excited as well.